Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. You join me today. It's this is about the furthest you can go in Norfolk before getting into Suffolk. But, it's one of my favourite places. Behind me is the wreck, the White Swan. There's a boat about 400 or 500 yards off there. A bit later than I wanted it to be this morning, but I've had 2 busy days spinning for bass and was tired last night. By the time I got home, sorted everything out, uploaded stuff on the computer, had a bit of something to eat, a shower. It was about gone 10 o'clock last night, but we're here. It's still only about 5:30. It's high tide today here at 8:10, so we've got a couple of hours. I just need to set up. I'm just halfway through setting up, but I'll run you through. It's a gorgeous beach. We all know where we are. Spin you all the way around. That's the pier over there and the river where we were fishing the other week. And as I say, we've got where the buoy is there. There's the sunken ship there. The White Swan. You'll see it at low tide. The funnels come out. So we have a big rod, the tide's coming in, so I'm going to have the big rod to the right hand side, cast as far as I can with a big bit of squid, mackerel or herring. Then we have a 1 up, 1 down and 3 hook flapper. See if we'll catch anything we can. I'll catch you in a bit when I've set all my gear up. Okay, I'll quickly run you through the rigs, just about all ready to go. This one I've got a 3 hook flapper, 14 foot Lanafe rod, 70 reel, 45 pound 9 strand Hercules braid with 55 pound shock leader, 3 up flapper, 1 down 2 up, just on Avis booms, 25 pound snoods, a few beads, bit of bling, 5 ounce lead on that one. The other one I've got my long cast all carbon Lanafe rod. I've just teamed that up with a brand spanking new. It's maiden voyage, Shakespeare Salt XT reel. That's the 7000, 4 ball bearings, came with 2 stainless steel or aluminium spools. Again, exactly the same, 9 strand, 45 pound Hercules braid, 55 pound shock leader. I've got a 1 up, 1 down clip down rig, again with a 5 ounce gripper lead. That's the top snood. Just going to bait them up, and then this one, again, same 14 foot rod, same reel, same line. I've got a up and over pulley dropper, and that's with a big bit of squid, mussel and herring, squid, mussel and prawn. So, and that one's got a bait release system built into the lead, so let's clear all that sand off. Hook's going to go in there. When that hit the water, that pull up, that releases the hook. There's a little puller system on here, you can see. So the beads are just there to protect it. That'll just pull up. As that hits the water, that'll drop down, so it's got a nice bit of running with this. There's the clip on the top. The line just goes over the back, so when you cast out, it flicks it over like that, not the other way around. Keep that tight. Pull this up. Put it under the bait clip there. That just hangs like that. Make sure this drag is tightened as far up as it will go. The tide's coming in, so it's going to be pushing left to right. So I'm going to up-tide it slightly in this direction. So just to the left of the Just want to make sure everything's clear. Something's not right. Let me just check the end of that. It doesn't feel right. No, it's not right at the end. Let's have a look at this. You see how that releases? As soon as you let the pressure go, that releases from there. But it's not happy with the way that felt. I don't want to cast out. I'm taking no chances. Never take any chances when you're casting 6, 8, 10 ounce leads over your head. If it don't feel right, don't cast out. Do it again. Just keep checking. Make sure everything's running smooth. Make sure your leading knot's at the back of the reel. Make sure nothing's snagged, nothing's catching. It only takes one frap up. Okay. So I'm going to launch this. Towards me. Just going to pay a bit of line out because paying that line out. Might move this down a touch. I know the tide's coming back in, but I can move back with it. I'll stick a little hole in the sand here. Wedge that in like that. Just check the drag. That's it. So yeah, it's let all that loose line out, pay the belly, but I'm still pushing quite hard left to right, so I don't want to trip out. Make sure nothing's catching there. Alright, that's one's ready to go. Okay, that's the one up, one down, clip down rig. You join me on its maiden voyage with the first cast, new reel. For this one I'm going to go furthest left and furthest up tide it because obviously the tide's pushing left to right and I don't want the lines colliding together. This one up to the left. I might have to adjust things to suit in a little bit. We'll see how that's sitting. We might need a bigger. Come on. We might need a bigger lead on. We'll see how the tide's pushing, but might have to adjust the tripod slightly. But I'd like it a bit more of a 45-degree angle. Not pointing straight up, but I might just do that now actually. I'll just release the bottom one, push it up slightly, push this up. That's better. I made this, just clips on here. I'm going to put all my bait thread, scissors, bits and pieces to hand in it, so I can just work to hand and there's a bite straight away, look. Oh, here we go, look. Don't. You see everything on braid. That's just what I do like about braid. Well, that wind's fresh this morning, I know that, guys. Really fresh. My hands are freezing. It was 6-7 degrees coming here. I thought, oh, it's a lot warmer than yesterday with the cloud and overcast and that, but it's only supposed to get up to about 9-10 degrees today, but yesterday I had a warmer breeze. Today it's coming straight in the face again. So I just hope we don't get plagued by crabs. And, that seems to be holding quite nicely. Okay, that's the one up, one down, clip down rig. You join me on its maiden voyage. First cast, new reel. For this one I'm going to go furthest left and furthest up tide it, because obviously the tide's pushing left to right and I don't want the lines colliding together. This one, up to the left. I might have to adjust things to suit in a little bit. We'll see how that's sitting. We might need a bigger. We might need a bigger lead on. I'll see how the tide's pushing, but might have to adjust the tripod slightly. But I'd like it a bit more of a 45-degree angle, not pointing straight up. But, I might just do that now actually. I'll just release the bottom one, push it up slightly, push it up. That's better. I made this, just clips on here. I'm going to put all my bait thread, scissors, bits and pieces to hand in it, so I can just work to hand, and there's a bite straight away, look. Oh, there we go, look. Don't. You see everything on braid. That's what I do like about braid. Well, that wind's fresh this morning, I know that, guys. Really fresh. My hands are freezing. It was 6-7 degrees coming here. I thought, oh, it's a lot warmer than yesterday with the cloud and overcast and that, but it's only supposed to get up to about 9-10 degrees today, but yesterday I had a warmer breeze. Today it's coming straight in the face again. So I just hope we don't get plagued by crabs. And, that seems to be holding quite nicely. The sun's getting out nice. Right in your face. We're getting plenty of taps, and wasn't sure if there were crabs or not, but let's cast this one slightly closer in because the 3-hook flapper. I don't want to get two rods on the same line. There you go, guys. First decent whiting. 3-hook flapper. A little bit closer in, that one, so there might be a little bit closer in. So, these guys are everywhere, so. First fish of the day. Unless it's a really good one, I'll always put back. It's got a bit tangled up, so it's in good condition though. Really good condition. Right, you can go straight back. Be mine. Whoop. Off you go then. Bit of luck for the day. So, my fear of just going to get crabbed out is getting dispelled a bit, which is good. So while I'm here, what I was going to say is everything's still nicely frozen or semi-frozen. Well, a lot of it is actually still frozen. I put everything in tubs, it's all in vat packed and it's all in a big plastic and ice packs in here. And I took that out at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock before I went to bed and put it straight in the fridge as it is. And then what I'll just do, I'll just keep one tub out here with some squid, mackerel, prawn, herrings in there. I use that, keep that here. That's my working tub. Just take a little bit out at a time as what I need. The rest of it is in plastics in here, all still frozen, still solid. Ice packs in there. Shut this down, clamp the lid down, put it back away in its ice box, its insulated box, and just keep that in there, and that'll keep it fresh all day long. That'll probably be still all the stuff in the vat packs. That'll still be frozen if I don't use it. So rather than going in and out, in and out, in and out every time you want to bait up, I could just keep it over here, which I probably will do. I'll go and get that now, and then just makes things easy. I can bait up here, keep the scissors here, keep the bait cloths here. Oh, what a fantastic morning. It's coming up to 7 o'clock. Just had the one white in, but I'm just hoping we haven't got the pesky crab problems that you can get sometimes here, and it's that time of year. But the tide's really slackened off. 5 ounces holding comfortably. It might even go to 4 ounces, or might just switch up a gripper lead. But you know when it's the tide, if it's the tide's really pulling and it'll pull your rod, your rod will go down and down and down until your lead trips out, and then it'll spring back. But with crabs, you get a very similar thing, but it's much smaller scale, what I call it. You get a pull down like this, and then it jumps back and then pulls down as they get on the line and get to your bait, and then it springs back. But you know if it's a fish, it'll be a lot sharper judder shape. But I think there, because the lead's not bouncing out, it's holding perfectly, but that I think is crabs. What I don't want to see. So I might have to start timing the casts, and I'll probably bring this in now and just check the bait, make sure I haven't been stripped out. That's nice when the sun's come out, it's lovely, but it's chilly when it goes in. So I'm going to try and keep busy today. I was thinking earlier on when I was rushing to get set up, it doesn't matter how early you get up, or how many times you go fishing, or how old you get. When you get here, you're always in a rush to get started. You just want to get that first bait in the water. You just want to get tackled up, get bait on and chuck it in, and then see what happens, and then you can calm down from there once you get a rod or two in and bait it up and that, and then you can sit and chill and have a coffee and then draw up a plan. So hello. Yeah, that's another thing why you got to keep all your, I keep a working tub of bait as well, because there's so many dog walkers going up and down the beaches these days, and the dogs aren't on a lead, and you leave bait lying around, the head's going to be in it before you know it, and you know, luckily it'll just be a bit of fish, but you know, you've been there before. If you're baiting up, you've got hooks and you've got, you know, stuff lying around, it's going to end up badly. Last thing you want is a dog swallowing your bait and hooks and all the rest of it. It's just a bare thinking about, really. That's the problem, isn't it? Clean hooks. So I'm gonna have to get this in. Keep my bait tub here, and I'll get this in. Look at the watch, and I will just start timing my casts, because if they're going to get stripped out by crabs, I'm going to have to just keep casting every 5 minutes, and hopefully get to the fish before the crabs do. Making sure you got fresh bait, you've got bait on, and just keep, I know it's a bit of a pain, but just keep casting every 5 minutes, because I've noticed as well, if the whiting are there, they sort of drift in packs. If the whiting are there, they'll take it almost instantly within. When I'm hooking as well, I like to go through the flesh side, through the skin. A bit small, this one, a bit tight, Nigel. Just twist it a couple of times and then back through the skin. It's a bit small, so I've got another layer on. Tip that with a bit of squid in a minute, just making sure there's no dogs around. First impressions of the reel, fantastic, super smooth, really powerful. It's quite chunky, it's not the lightest of reels, I mean it's solid aluminium, but I know it's hopefully, touch wood, built to last. I mean, it feels quality, it feels robust in your hand. There's nice big handle, really good cranking on it. I mean, I haven't got a bad thing to say about Shakespeare. I'm a Shakespeare lad, I always have been, even when I started fishing. Coarse fishing, always use Shakespeare gear. I do use other stuff as well. I mean, you know, I've got some Daiwa rods, Shimano rods, but value for money, for robustness, for reliability, can't go wrong with Shakespeare. As long as it's not saying there's anything wrong with it, but the bottom of the line stuff. But I mean, as long as you the mid-range stuff and up above, yeah, they're mid-range stuff and above, it's fantastic stuff. I've never had a problem with anything. I think in all my years fishing, there's only ever one reel that's let me down, and that's probably my fault, because it was just a Shakespeare Mach 2 5000 reel, and I used it a couple of dozen times spinning for bass on. I think I must have dropped it in the sand and salt water. It got a bit grindy, but I thought it was knackered. I thought it was done for. It's just like seized, and I watched the video on YouTube, took it apart, and I was surprised how amazingly simple it was inside. Took it to bits, cleaned it, got rid of the rust, got rid of the grit, and that's not a good cast. talking to you, I'm not checking the bloody lead enough. Oh, we'll have a try again. So make sure the leader knot is right here at the back of the spool. I think I must have let that go a little bit slack because it's wrapped around the rod tip, and obviously didn't check, make sure. Take the they've got a back wind on them. They're going to lock it out. Yeah. Make sure that's running free then. I got that up. Oh, it hasn't got a back wind, which is strange, but it's one thing. Oh, one more thing that can't go wrong, I suppose. But you just loosen the drag off. Right. I think that's a bit too close for my liking. That's better. Let's launch this one a bit further. That's better. That's faster day, that one. Keep that rod high. What I like to do is, once that lead's down, I just pull that lead in, feed it bed in, and then let a load of slack out. Let go now, walk my way back to the rod rest. You can see the tide's coming up. Get it in the rod rest, just pull that rod back, keep letting the line out. Now just put it back and leave it for 30 seconds. Let that lead and the line bed itself in. You might need to tighten it up a bit, but if you tighten up straight away and it tide's absolutely pulling, it's just going to pull out, and then it doesn't matter how much line you keep paying out once it's not holding. You see that's now coming across to, it's now starting to settle. There's a bite straight away. Look at it. Tighten down to it. Might have to cast a bit further out. Definite bite there. As soon as it settles, as I say, normally we're whitening straight on it. This is what I feared, guys. I just put on, pulled in my big bait, and it's gone, and just same as the rods there, tap 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 tap. So I thought, rather than just keep feeding the crabs all day long or while it's coming up to high tide, it's going to fish one rod at a time on the two rods, one in, one out. And this one I'm going to just bait up again, but I'm not going to leave it as long because obviously plenty of crabs about. But if that's the case, I might put a big bit I've got some whole crabs, put a whole crab on with some squid and hope for a bass or something. But there's plenty of birds out there. They keep swooping and circling and diving, so it's fish around, but it always goes fairly slack here at high tide. And then when the start of the flood, start of the ebb and down to low tide, it fishes really well. Right, when I'm baiting up, I've got my wrap of squid, I've got herring, some crab there. I've just gone through the squid, I always go through the squid, go through backwards, pull it out. So the top of the rod's going to go up here. Then you get your pennel hook, second hook. Bring this down. You want this at the top of the bait. It's personal preference, some people go down. I like to come back out through the squid again because it's a lot tougher. You want to do this. I'll get this right for you. 1, 3 times around. You want the hook to come out the back. So once again, go through, push it down, a bit deeper. That's it, right through. Push that back out. Now, personal preference, like to keep them like that. why you keep everything locked away. Dogs everywhere. They'll be in your face before you know it. Right, got the fun bait thread now. So, then I wrap this round, pushing the shank of the hook down, nice and tight. So you've got your two hooks, go around and around. Always make sure your hook point is well proud of the bait. Work your way up around the pennel hook. Just go around a couple of times, secure that, like in opposite directions. Pull that right up to the base there, and then this bit's the most important, I think. Just getting it round, whipping it round the shank. Get that really tight. Get this out of the way. The wind's blowing it. That's it. Get that round the shank of the pennel hook. So it's like that. Really tight. Times around the middle. Just pull that. Just going to tip that hook with the squid, and that's ready to go. Let's bait this up. Let's go. And I'm going to give this a big heave ho before you do everything. Let's get these grips locked in place. Once that's done, let's undo this. 1 second. Make sure that leader knot right at the back of the spool. Wind it around by hand, and now we can. Now that's done. Hook length over the clip, pull the hook down, clip it under the bait holder. Now this one's going to go pretty much straight out. I don't want to leave it too long anyway. I've just noticed from last time that the obviously the tide's coming in, and it will start to bury your line. You can leave it in too long. That's why it's hard to get out and people snap off as you try and yank it. You just gradual pressure, keep walking back, and just slowly, just the line gets buried. Walk that back, walk it back. My big rod, my trolley, bring everything with me. I just lashed on a bank stick, extendable bank stick, so I can move that where I want. And then I have the drag fairly tight on the reel, but just enough. And then obviously I'd choose a bungee, and I'd go around a couple of times, and I'd just hook it to the back of the reel. If anything does take it and it wants to run off with it, it's got to take the trolley and everything with it, so there's a good bite alarm. I hear it clanking away down the beak as it's being dragged in, hopefully, fingers crossed. What I'm having to do, guys, is fish it quite tight actually, so I can see what's going on, but I mean that's just hit the bottom, and don't know if we've got like Usain Bolt and Linford Christie of crabs out there, but they're literally on it within seconds. And then I thought I had a bite a second ago. Poured it in, been out 20 seconds. All three hooks pretty much stripped, which is, yeah, that's not good. Not good at all. That's a bite there. But what I was thinking is, you know, if they're going to keep stripping me out and I'm baiting up every 20 seconds, 30 seconds, might just go for one up, down, or one down, clip down rig, and just launch it as far as I can. See if you can get away from the crabs. Whether it works or not, I don't know. But yeah, the crabs are winning at the minute. We're just giving them breakfast. Oh, another whiting. The top snood again. It's nicely hooked. I think I'm just gonna start hitting any knocks and rattles, and there might be small whiting. Just smashing at the bait, but I think I'm just going to be almost like I'm river fishing. As soon as I get a tap or a rattle, I'm going to be on it. Whether you know, it doesn't matter how many times I have to cast in and cast out again, as long as I stop them crabs getting to my bait. I've only got one rod out and the big rod, but the big rod again I won't leave out for. Let's go through the flesh side, through the skin, back through the flesh. Give it a bit of a bend in there so it doesn't tear. And I've cut up some little strips of squid ready to go. Just stops it flying off the hook with herring and mackerel being so soft. Let's have a look at these other ones. They're all good. Are you alright?
Come on, this way. Ruby! People smell some...
Yeah. This is it. Oh, that makes me laugh every time, every single time. About £1 for every time. There's one was screaming at a dog, Ruby, 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 come away, come away, come away. Well, I'm sorry, it's not normally like this in this angular. Every dog is the same. It's just, doesn't matter how well trained they are. Come on, in. Doesn't matter how well trained they are. As soon as they smell the bait top of fish and the squid, and their owners are screaming, oh, he's normally well behaved. No, dog's eyes are bloody bigger than the belly. Every single one. You think you've got trained dog, just offer it some food. It won't take a blind bit of notice of what the owner's saying. The bellies are bigger than the brains. Okay, well, I'm just keeping getting stripped out by, that's only been out 10 minutes or so. Bought about bare hooks with a tiny bit of squid on it, again on the big bait, so well, I thought if I can't beat them, join them. So I've got a big bit of crab on there, taking the shell off and the legs, just left the claws on as well. And what I've done is I've bound on a couple of mussels over the top of it, a few squid tentacles. So it looks like, well, to me, if I was a bass, I think, oh, there's a nice juicy crab chewing away on some squid. And now I've lashed all that on, pedal hook through the bottom, main hook through the top, so I've got 2 chances. Just gonna launch this out as far as I can get it. Just gonna quickly set my leader knot on the back of the spool. I like to hand wind it on. I'm sorry if I can't get. Just getting that right at the back. Couple of turns round. Right. I'm glad I changed my reels yesterday, because one of these reels, the back wind stopped working, and so I treated myself to a new Shakespeare reel, to say. And then I had 2 good reels out of 3. Swapped the lines over. The one that stopped working was on this big rod with back wind. It was frustrating. But, right. Hopefully that's worthy of the bass or a ray. I can't leave it out long because the state of the tide as well, it's just burying the line. It really is burying the line. It's getting towards slack tide now anyway, so I'm tying down a little bit more at the minute. I've noticed on the other rod. Right, come on you bass, come on you rays. Well, the tide's turned now, it's 9:10, but it's working. It's, you know, at least I'm coming about some bait. I've just redone this, it's the same crab, but put some mussel on there and a bit of squid over the top and the tentacles. But I had a big drop back bite. I don't know if it was the tide, because now the tide's going right to left. It's starting to go out, starting to out on the ebb. So now I'm going to have to cast to my right. But there's been not a lot of flow today. Not a lot of flow at all, but I'm going to give it the big one again. Just going to quickly check that leader knot first. That's not at the back of the spool, might have to redo that. Right, get that leader right at the back. No, that's not what about. I'm not going to do it unless I'm happy. That running free. Alright, let's go to the left, sorry, to the right, and that will put it to about 1 o'clock. Head towards that ship. I think I'll bring this down a touch now because it should be starting to ebb. Hopefully, with it ebbing out now, hopefully them crabs will bugger off with it and all and start going out further out to sea. We'll see. Right, we'll try something a bit different because I'm just feeding crabs at the minute. I'm going to keep with 1 rod, but there's no point just baiting everything up and they're just getting eaten. So I'm just going to put a pulley rig on, a light pulley rig. But I'm using a 5-ounce ball lead. And one of the ones I just bought back had a couple of live crabs on it. So I'll lightly hook a crab on here, just once, singly through there, and I'm gonna just literally try for a bass or something. Let the ball lead roll around in the tide. I'm not even gonna lash that on. I'm gonna let that. I've got a clip here, so I can go in there. I let that crab scurry about on the bottom. Let's wind this up. I'm literally just going to go off the end of these drawings a little bit further. But, I'll keep an eye on it because obviously I don't want it going round the drawing, I'm going to lose a lot. I'm just going to let that wallow around, and any chance of a passing bass, you never know. But I'm just retying this leader knot because I'm not happy with the way it looked or seemed to be fraying a little bit. So I've got the leader, and I just put the looper line in about 6 inches, and the main line or the braid, you can go either direction, down or up, but whichever way you do it, when you come back out, you've got to go exactly the same direction. I always prefer going up. You put your finger in the line Now you need to twist this line around about, I always do it 22 times. Once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just keep pulling it down. 21, 22, and then when you come back, you go under, and you see the line. It's got to pass through the same way. So that one now, because it's obviously gone on that, has got to go back the same direction as this is coming. So this is coming out down through, that's got to come back down through, and pull it and pull it. Give the main line a good pull it. Right. Then pull up both tag ends. Just like that. And then you just need to trim it off. Oh, quick update. Well, the crabs are winning at the minute, so I've got 2 big baits on. One live crab on the left hand rod with a ball lead, and the same, well, a peeler crab on that one with squid and mussel, and then I've got a 1 up 1 down on this one, which I have got a bite. It's the first time in a long time, so it is ebbing out now. I'm going to have to move my rod rest down in a bit, but there's very little flow today, very little tide. That's just the crab, the live crab. I just nicked it through the tail. And in fact, literally, I've got the drag set really loose, so I'll need to start screaming before I even look at it. But oh, bite on this one. Hopefully now it's ebbing, the whiting can start coming back down towards low tide. It's a frustrating day. I mean, this is what I've got to contend with all the time. I'll just stick them in the box, use them for bass bait. But yeah, come about of bare hooks, and it's getting a bit laborious now. I'm just feeding crabs, so can't see if we get past them. Well, I'm back in the car. I packed up, all put away. Decided to call it a day at about 12:15 back in Norwich, so I just pulled up here. Yeah, it's a little bit disappointed today, a little bit disappointing. Well, not disappointing, frustrating is the word, more frustrating than anything else. The crabs are a nightmare today, just couldn't get through them, was plagued, just stripping the baits. It's probably the least amount of fish I've had this winter, or this season so far, but that's the way it goes. That's the name of the game. You win some, you lose some, I suppose, and it is that, you know, you're dealing with Mother Nature at the end of the day, and the crabs come in this time of year now. They're here to feed, they're to spawn, they'll shell in a week or two, they'll peel, become little peeler crabs. And then in turn, the predatory fish come in and feed on the crabs, the rays, the bass, dogfish, smoothhounds. So you just got to deal with it, and you know, it's either that or just go home. But I tried my best. I kept busy. I tried fishing great big baits. I was even bringing crabs back on the line. I was hooking them and using them as bait, and nothing. And even some of them were getting eaten. So I thought, oh, well, the 1 up 1 down rig or the 3 hook flapper rig, I'll just fish one rod at a time, because I thought there's no point wasting good bait just for crab food. So I even tried experimenting, taking the bottom, the one below hook off, or not hook off, but not baiting it, and the middle snood, and just fishing the top snood with bait. But again, the crabs find the way up the line. You see the rod tip rattling away, slow pull down, then drop back, slow pull down, then drop back, and coming back bare hooks. So I thought, well, rather than just having one hook in the water, just have 2 or 3, and then, you know, just deal with it the best you can. But I had half a dozen white. I didn't blank. I still had 6 white in. But that was at the start of the day, early morning, and as the day went on, nothing to say the crabs were a nightmare. So I knew when to call it quits. I knew I've had enough. I'm not daft. That's enough for me. And I know one thing. It's a bit funky in here. My hands, squid, crab, mussels, prawns. I've got to get some hand wipes because I clean this car because that steering wheel and the gear stick, that gear stick, not the other one. Yeah, it's going to be bloody humming. And but yeah, we tried, and that's the way it is. And yeah, next week I'm going to push a bit further afield, depending on the weather and tide. I want to get to Corton or Hopton and give it a go, because it is good fishing down there. It's just like North Beach. It's really deep, straight off. It can be a nightmare as far as the tide there. It can be, sometimes I've had 6, 8, 10 ounce, and it's impossible to hold the bottom. But it can be weedy, it can be snaggy, but it's like North Beach. That's where the fish are. So you gotta deal with it and do the best you can. Anyway, thanks for coming along. I hope you've enjoyed it. If anyone's got any questions, anything you'd like to ask, I keep forgetting to say as well. But if you like what you see, like what I'm doing, you know, I'm just new to the game. You know, I'm trying out a new camera. I want to get away from using my mobile. Try and get a bit better footage. So I've been out for the last 3 days, trying to get some footage behind me so I can edit it together, take the time, do a little bit better job. So anyway, that's it for now, and I'll catch you again. Take care.